So let's just get settled. Nice to see everybody. Thank you for coming. Let's just get settled. And I know there are a couple of you who've done this before. Robert, have you done this before? This mindfulness meditation course?
No, I'm sorry, I have not. It's first time.
Okay, so you're in session 2, and that's okay. Session 1 is online if you want to watch it. But it's really quite simple, so I think you'll be okay.
Thank you.
If you're interested, you can watch it. Okay, and Jay's done it before. Mary Jo, I don't think you've done it. Kimberly's done it, and Shayla may have. Okay. So for now, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable, seated posture. Okay, where am I? Okay, we're in session 2, which is mindfulness and introspection. So if you have your feet down on the ground, not in a regular cross-legged position, have them about a hips width apart, shoulders are aligned with your hips. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light, and it's got some space in between those vertebrae, and it's stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So your shoulders aligned with the hip bones, and then as much as you can, your ears aligned with your shoulders, and just imagine yourself lengthening here. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head. And just allow a little softness to come into the head, to the crown. To the face, to the jaw, to the back of the throat. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. And this includes, your hands and feet and fingers and toes. So just settle in here and just begin to slow your breath down. Be aware of the sensations in the body. And just be aware of any sounds in your environment, any sounds outdoors, any sounds indoors. And try not to follow them with the mind. And then just notice what's arising in the mind. And allow those thoughts to be there. Just allow them to kind of bubble up. And here's the trick. Don't follow them. Don't engage with them. Don't engage with the rumination if that's what's going on, or the criticism. So you're good enough just as you are, and however it is you've turned up this evening, this afternoon, it's perfect. So you look at your thoughts with some level of objectivity rather than getting all engaged in the story. So just watch and notice. And so we can put ourselves on the bank of a river and just watch that river flow by. Just notice it. Then after a while, you realize that as long as you're sitting on the bank, you're free from the river. So I want you to we'll do a little equanimity meditation just because most people here are familiar with it. But I want you to bring to mind your loved ones. So just maybe bring one loved one to, put them in front of you, see their face, their eyes, their smile. What is it you love about them? Their kind heart, their generosity. And then there's the ones you don't like. You can bring them in front of you, eyeball to eyeball. And then there's our strangers. And curiously, they can, these relationships can change place at any time. And, they do. That's why we have divorce courts. But regardless of how you feel about any one of those people, particularly the strangers, we just don't care about them. Really. We just really mainly care about our loved ones, planning, financial planning, taking care of them, holidays, looking after. They're all equal because they all have this wish to be happy, this wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity of Buddhahood. So everybody, really, every human being, every sentient being on the planet is the same in this way. So last week, we looked at what mindfulness is and the importance of mindfulness. We looked at that mindfulness is without forgetting things. It also depends on being familiar with an object. And mindfulness helps us to not be distracted. And when we're mindful of an object, we fully attend to it with certainty. We're not attending to it half-heartedly or absent-mindedly. We give our full attention to this object. So it could be a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Very mindful. And the full attention to our object of mindfulness could be sensations in our body, the words of a loved one, the feeling in our heart, all the thoughts that are flowing through the mind. And mindfulness is really a natural quality of our mind. We already possess this ability to pay mindful attention to what is happening in our life. We pay mindful attention to the road when we're driving. So what we need to do is appreciate its importance to our well-being and learn how to nurture and strengthen this skill, this natural ability of ours, in a way that serves us. So we did a simple mindfulness of body through physical touch, where we drew our attention to different places in the body. I think we touched the crown of the head, the forehead, shoulders, etc., all the way down. And it enabled us to slow down for a brief moment and focus on the sensations. And then we did a body scan. So we didn't touch, it was without physical touch. And we invited, in this course, they invited us to place our attention on different parts of the body in a slow and mindful way to sense the simple sensations there, which is why I started with feeling the sensations at the crown of the head. Okay, so does anybody have anything they want to say about last week or any questions about last week? No? Okay. Robert, did you have something you want to say? Hi,
Not
Mary.
at this time.
Huh?
No, I'm sorry, not at this time.
Okay, great. All right. I saw you moving your hands and I was like, oh, is he about to ask something? Right. Okay,
Sorry,
thank you.
no.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so now let's get to session 2, if no one has any questions or anything to share. So here we are looking at this idea of mindfulness and introspection. So in this particular course, they look at mindfulness in combination with introspection. So where mindfulness allows our mind and our attention to stay engaged with a familiar object without losing touch with that object or being distracted somewhere else, the strength of the connection between our mindfulness and its object depends on the degree of familiarity we have with that object and the strength of the associations we have built up in relation to it. So a child, for example, our car. The more familiar we are with an object, the stronger the associations, emotional or otherwise, our house. The better our mindfulness is able to keep that object in the foreground of our awareness for a longer period of time, our concentration on it will deepen. So the implication for our practice of mindfulness is to take care in building up that familiarity and strong associations through just continuously returning our attention to our chosen object of mindfulness. So much so that our attention naturally gravitates towards it and then it becomes effortless. So this is what I was saying this morning, like sometimes in some ways I feel a bit guilty. We're doing the same meditations over and over again. But I think there's familiarity there that's really important. It helps us to go a little bit deeper. So we're talking about effortless effort here. We don't want to push ourselves or force our mind to conform to our own wishes. So we have to also relax, but also pay attention. So that in the practice of mindfulness, we also make use of another a natural ability of the mind, which is introspection. And introspection functions like a spy, checking and monitoring how our mind and body are doing in our meditation. And it's also our introspective awareness that alerts us to our mind being distracted away from our object of mindfulness or it being overwhelmed with dullness or drowsiness. And this enables us to, we can then return our attention time and time again to the object of our meditation, our mindfulness, and thus strengthen this mindfulness. So the stronger our mindfulness, the easier it is to notice this deviation because there's a contrast between, being attentive to the object and being distracted somewhere else. So, the strength of our introspection increases in step, with that of mindfulness. And this is how the two qualities mutually support each other. So our first meditation today, we're going to do body scan again. And I try and identify this function of engaging our attention with the subtle bodily sensations at the different parts of the body. And that of noticing distraction or dullness during the meditation as the practice of introspection. So when you experience distraction and dullness, so distraction could be a sound in the house that makes you jump. Dullness is like when you think having a lovely meditation, you're falling asleep. We just simply acknowledge them to ourselves as a normal part of the process of, slowly cultivating mindfulness and introspection to keep us in touch with the state of our body. And this is regardless of how many interruptions there may be, and the great benefit comes out of it. This is how we help our body to loosen up and unwind unnecessary tensions, things that don't serve us in the different parts of the body, shoulders, crown of the head, face, back of the head. And this leads to a greater sense of physical ease and comfort. So let's just do our first. Okay. Just wait a second. We're going to go back and do the body scan. All right. So go back into a nice, comfortable seated posture. You can sit, you can lie down, you can sit in a chair, cross-legged on the floor, or you can lay down on your back if you wish. If you do that, I would suggest you put your knees up, feet on the floor. So just allow our spine to be in its natural, comfortable position, just nicely aligned, shoulders and hips over the shoulders aligned with the hips, and then the ears aligned with the shoulders. And just rest your hands and arms on some physical support and allow your shoulders to be relaxed. And you're free to close your eyes or leave them open. So my suggestion is, if you want to keep them open, just a crack to allow some light in. And they say this is a really good way to help with dullness. It's just to open your eyes a little bit, allow some light in. I think if you have your eyes wide open, like we would normally do as we're walking around our day, you'll just find it's a little bit more difficult to meditate. But the trick is, with your eyes closed, particularly if you're lying down, not to have that as a signal that you're now going to fall asleep. So start on the crown and notice the sensations at the topmost part of your body. There may be a little bit of tingling there. There could be some slight pressure there, some warmth or coolness, or maybe nothing at all. And that is also perfectly fine. And move down to your face and notice the sensations there. And notice, are you tensing up any of the facial muscles? Those at the forehead, around our eyes, or around the jaw? And can you relax these muscles and let in a different feeling, one of softness and ease and comfort into your face? So inviting your attention to come back to your body, to the neck and throat. Just notice the sensations there. And moving down to your shoulders. How are your shoulders feeling today? Are you tense? So maybe just raise them up by your ears and just drop them for a moment. Just raise them up and drop. And you can just roll them forward, roll them back. Have a little wriggle, lengthen the neck. If we notice any tension or uncomfortable feelings here in your shoulders or anywhere else in the body, can you simply acknowledge them for the time being? Like, do you feel that you have to change immediately for the better? Can you just let it be for a moment and notice? Now allow the attention to flow down both arms simultaneously, and just notice the simple sensations at your upper arms, your elbows, down to the lower arms, and in both hands. Sense the sensations in the palms. So if you have your hands down on your legs, you might notice the material of whatever it is you're wearing. Or maybe you're not wearing. Maybe you have shorts on, so you just feel skin. And if you have your hands turned upwards in the regular meditation mudra, you might feel the back of the hands on your clothes. So notice your fingers. And having activated all these sensations into your awareness, can you rest both arms and hands on their physical support and release their weight into gravity? So bring your attention back to your chest, to your heart, and what are you finding here? And can you feel the breath along with the other sensations? And as you notice the natural out-breath, the natural exhale, take this opportunity to release. Just allow anything that's unhelpful or unwanted or does not serve you to just flow out with the breath. And just breathe in again. And exhale. So do this 3 more times in your own time. Slowly exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Mm. And coming back to your body, allow your attention to go deeper and lower until we arrive at our abdomen. And rest your attention within the body at the level of your navel and sense some sensations there. So much happens here in this area. Reproductive organs. This is where babies happen. So our digestive system is here. Elimination system is here. There's a lot going on in that area. So just breathe in and out, maybe 2 or 3 more times. So going deeper and lower, finally arrive at the base of our spine and rest your attention there at the tip of the tail, the coccyx bone. And sense the sensations there and all the sensations in the pelvic region. And feel the weight of the pelvis on its physical support. And just see if you can release that weight so that your pelvis can rest comfortably on your chair, your sits bones. And inhale and exhale a few times. So now allow the sensation, your attention to flow down both legs at the same time, and notice the simple sensations at your hip joints, in your quads, your knees, and the lower legs. And finally arrive at both your feet. So some of you might be sitting cross-legged in a chair, so you might feel some weight there. Others of you have your feet down. Others of you, if you're lying down, you may feel the back of the heel on the floor or the soles of the feet. So sense the sensations at the soles of the feet, the top of the feet, and in our toes. And having activated all these sensations into our awareness, can we restore, can we rest both legs on the ground and release their weight to gravity? And rest your body in this position and allow it to settle down and be comfortable there. And rest your attention with your body and your breath here. Each time you notice yourself exhaling, let's use it as an opportunity to deepen this sense of release, letting go of anything that is not serving you, anything unhelpful, unwanted. Release ourselves deeper into the present moment, into our meditation. think everybody just relax. And I'm wondering if anyone has anything they'd like to share about that practice. If it's different to anything you've been doing before. And then we're going to move on to thinking a little bit about distraction and dullness. And does anyone have anything to say about distraction and dullness? TikTok.
I have so much distraction going on in my house at all the time.
Yeah.
So I need this.
It's in my head. Most of my distractions are in my head. Yes, Robert. Oh, no. Was that a distraction? Oh, it was a drink. Please drink if you're thirsty. What's that say? Liquid death?
It's water.
Oh,
In a can.
really?
Yes.
Death. What a crazy name. The the internet where I am here, Christine has the internet called Death Ride. I think it must be, she's a cyclist. So I think it must be one of the, they're all cyclists here. I mean, it's just terrifying to watch people on these little tiny windy roads. But anyway, I find it really terrifying as a driver. But yeah, Death Ride. So we have, all right. So let's just settle back in to a meditation again. And we'll think a little bit about distraction and dullness. And if you do need to drink because it's hot, please go ahead. So you'll notice when you start to pay attention to all your sensations in the body and the mind, you become aware of how our attention does not stay with the object of mindfulness for very long. You know, there's one meditation I used to do at Kopan, and it's a counting meditation. So you count 1, 2, 3, and then you're counting this to yourself. Actually, we'll do it now. You count from 1 to 10 if you can get there. But you just start with 1. And then we have to be really honest with ourselves. And the minute we have some kind of distraction, we have to go back and start at 1 again. So just try that, just for a moment, and just see. It's amazing. So in for 1, exhale for 1, inhale for 2, exhale for 2, if you get that far. You just relax. You know, you with practice, you can get further. Anyway, it's just a good check. So, you know, we have these processes that kind of interrupt us and draw our attention away. And one is dullness and one is distraction. So dullness refers to a loss of alertness and vividness of attention, a loss of focus. And this includes the experiences of drowsiness and sleepiness, you know, things, you know, when you're meditating, you kind of, you know, when you're doing a course, meditation course, or listening to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and the after lunch session, the 2 o'clock session, would always be torture because I just want to lie down and go to sleep. So, you know, we're spacing out, we're blanking out of the mind, we've got darkness and fogginess of mind, lack of energy of the mind. And the mind is not as clear and alert as it can be in engaging with its object. So you're just kind of drifting off to sleep. You might be thinking you're having a lovely meditation, but actually you are drowsy. So distraction refers to the movement of attention away from the object of mindfulness towards sounds, thoughts, and other experiences. And it represents an excessive amount of energy in the mind that prevents attention from settling down and stabilizing on this object of mindfulness. And the most common type of distraction is compulsive involuntary thinking, ruminations, these thoughts that kind of pop up in our mind that we don't know where they came from. They also, these kind of thoughts contribute greatly to our stress levels. So we have many thoughts that just capture our attention and keep us involved in matters of the past or imaginary future, and often accompanied by various emotional reactions. And these stories may not even be accurate or true. So there's really a lot of nonsense going on in the mind. But I wouldn't suggest you criticize yourself, but we engage in these kind of thoughts, and it's like you're halfway through a story. You've got halfway to Australia already, and you're thinking, well, wait, how did I get here? I have this friend at Copan, and we were talking about, some of us learn our prayers off by heart just because we don't have to carry a book around. And then I think we were walking around Bodhi's stupa, and we were talking about how we can get halfway through one of our prayers and not even know how we got there, but we got there. So we were reciting these texts without any kind of sense of focus at all, any kind of mindfulness. So we need to really start thinking about becoming aware of the various reactions that affect the function of the body and mind. And this initial discovery and the enhanced awareness of the uncomfortable sensations in the body, as well as dullness or distracting thoughts, might be a little disappointing, but is actually a sign of progress in our practice. And this also means we're a little bit more in touch with what's happening and can take steps to remedy what's going on in the mind. So, if we need to, but, Lamy used to talk about always, you do have control, you do have the power. We're not subject to our mind being uncontrolled. We can discipline ourselves. So we're going to do a practice of mindfulness of breathing meditation. So we're going to repeatedly and gently return our attention to the simple breath sensations in our body. And we can begin the process of weakening our old habits of dullness and distraction. And this takes practice. It's not going to happen in a one session. You've kind of decide that this is what I want to do, and maybe only do 5 minutes a day. Venerable Venus Lama Yeshe also actually is the main proponent of this. Westerners can't keep their minds straight for more than 5 minutes, and I think most of us probably, to be honest, probably 2 or 3. So this meditation, we place our attention on the sensations of our breathing. So the emphasis on, first of all, mindfulness as the simple act of repeatedly returning our attention to the breathing sensations, sort of inhale and exhale. And also introspection is noticing the presence of dullness, including sleepiness and distraction. And part of this is this involuntary reactive thinking, or kind of wandering off down a story path. We have no idea how we get there. And we're going to practice letting go of these unhelpful thoughts and stories. And, when we make use of our out-breath as an opportunity to allow anything that doesn't serve us that's not needed in this moment to flow away and be released. Okay. And then we can talk about it after, if you wish. So now, just before we start, just notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. You might notice the sensations of the air flowing over those little hairs inside the nostril. You may notice the coolness of the air as you inhale. It's slightly warmer as you exhale. You might notice some sensations at the base of the nostril, or the, outer edges of the nostril as you're breathing in and out. You might notice, do notice this is not a front and up breathing. Our breathing is 360. So when you're breathing, inhaling, just think of exhaling into a barrel. Like imagine your ribs and chest and back are a barrel. Just breathe in to the back parts of the body. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause, and then exhale. And just imagine everything is just kind of exhaling. The diaphragm rises, belly, and the air comes out. You release all that air and all those unwanted distractions and all the unwanted dullness. So notice again areas of softness and ease and relaxation with our comfortable feelings. And can you welcome these feelings and allow ourselves to enjoy them while they're here? A little bit of tingling, some softness. And if there's areas of tension or tightness and uncomfortable feelings, can you just acknowledge them for the moment and don't feel that we need to change anything immediately for the better. Just let them be. And just check in with the sensations at your face. Are you tensing up your facial muscles? And those at the forehead, around the eyes, around the jaw. And can you very gently relax these muscles and let in a different feeling, one of softness and ease and comfort into our face? And can you allow this softening and relaxing to spread on its own throughout the rest of the body, helping our body to settle into meditation in its own time? And just breathe here for a moment. So among all these different bodily sensations, see if you can highlight those sensations that are specific to breathing. Nostrils, the air flowing in and out, movement of the chest, expanding, contracting 360 degrees with each breath. You may also notice the rising and the falling of the abdomen. And just allow your attention to rest on some of these breath sensations. And allow yourself to fully experience your in-breath and your out-breath. So we'll do this for about 2 or 3 minutes. And when you get distracted, for whatever reason, just bring your mind back to the sensations of the breath, either the nostrils, the belly, or the expansion and contraction of the chest and diaphragm. Diaphragm moves up and down. Sorry, down and up as you inhale and exhale. And really allow yourself to fully experience your inhale and exhale. If you wish, you can count your inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Noticing the sensations. Pause at the top of the breath and then exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're resting your attention here with your breath. Each time you notice yourself breathing out, use it as an opportunity to release. Releasing anything that is unhelpful and unwanted. Just like the way we breathe out to let go of the stale air in our lungs, the stale thoughts in our mind. It's almost like a sigh. I'm going to do that for a few minutes. Just notice. Releasing anything unhelpful, anything unwanted. Any anger you might have towards someone, just to let it go. You can also say a guiding word to yourself. Release in our mind each time we notice an out breath and exhale. So this is to remind our body that we don't need to hold on to unnecessary tightness, unnecessary contraction. We can also let go of thoughts, memories, fantasy, all these things we're preoccupied with, things that take us away from being present with ourselves and our loved ones, our work. If you're jumping out of a plane with a parachute, you're present. But probably not much relaxation there. So the trick is to be relaxed, calm, aware, focused, present, solid. So if you find you're, ruminating, moving off with your thoughts, you can bring your attention down to the soles of your feet and just feel. We can also release states of dullness and drowsiness, and we can just allow these to float away with the out-breath. We're not forcing anything to happen. We're not pushing anything away. So let's meditate for another 5 minutes or so. And when you notice your attention is distracted elsewhere or you're feeling drowsy, simply invite your attention to come back to the breath sensations and release on the out-breath, drowsiness, distractions. I muted myself. Okay, thanks, Shale. So I want to I want to hear from you guys, see how that meditation was for you, or how these ideas are landing. Okay, I'm going to go around. Who? Shayla?
Hey, Joe, did you have a comment?
Did you say Mary Jo?
Yeah. How are you going, Mary Jo?
Oh, good. But I can take my turn just if you want to go around the room.
No,
That's fine.
we can start
I'll
with
just
you.
put unmute.
We can start with you.
Okay, all right, fine. Um, um, I a little bit. I would go from the sensation of the breath at my nose, and then I started paying attention more in my thorax with that breathing to the count of 4 in and out, you know, to the center and the side and the back and then the left side. And that was nice. And then I thought, oh, I hope that's not distracting me. But it's just another anchor point. I think it's another anchor, right?
Yeah. And what you did was amazing
Yeah.
because you mentioned the side ribs, which I didn't mention. I just mentioned 360 degrees. So you were focusing on all the different sensations in that chest cavity. Sorry. So that sounds good. Well done. And, you know, yeah, and you can, I guess, you know, there is some validity to not getting too distracted by all the sensations in the body, but, and kind of drifting off with that. But it does sound like you were doing okay. And, you know, when you do meditation, often, you know, I'll say, bring your mind back to the breath. And because I can guarantee that me and everybody else has kind of disappeared off to dinner.
Yes.
You know, do you know what I mean?
Yes, I definitely do. And it's interesting.
Oh,
Well,
and
I'm
there's
sitting
a
in.
puppy.
I'm sitting in my car,
Oh,
and
you are? Okay.
I have it on video. I don't know why. That's why I can't turn on my view, but I I it's nice because my hood is up, and I'm so my field of vision is limited, and that's very nice. I like that. It's I won't go into details, but it's nice. It's kind of like, I think, blinders on a horse, and so that's good. It does
Okay.
help me. And my the issue that I often though have is that I don't know what you call it, but drowsiness or that kind of anyway. That is a big issue with me. So I'll be working with that. Thank
Well
you
done.
so much.
Well
I
done,
hope
Mary Jo.
this is being.
It is
Will
being
this be recorded?
It is being recorded.
Yeah.
So
So
you can find
yeah,
it on
wonderful.
YouTube. And
Good.
yeah, I think that's great awareness, Mary Jo. Thank you so much for sharing. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
it's interesting, you know, I have this group of about 16 people at the YMCA, and we do meditation together. And one of the women there was talking about how, hi Lou, nice to see you. One of the women there was talking about how when she gets into a car and she's in this bubble, that's when the rumination starts. So it's the opposite for her, Mary Jo. She gets into her bubble, she gets into a car, and everything that's gone on that day beforehand starts to go through her mind. So I was curious about that. I think she's not the only one. And so what I do now is I increase the data on my phone so I could listen to books and this and that. So my mind wouldn't just sort of start wandering off on its own accord. Because, you know, I get halfway down the freeway and I'm like, oh, how did I even get here? So, I don't know.
yes. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, I think everyone can relate to
That
that.
does, Yes, definitely. And of course, I'm stationary here
Right,
in a very quiet place. And I
right.
think that does make a difference. Yeah.
Yep, it does. And Deshay, anything to share, anything to say?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, good. I've never done this mic here. Um, I tend to wander off into drowsiness. I mean, I'll fall asleep as fast as I sit down. So I was had sleep apnea diagnosed, and after 8 years, they've decided I don't have that. So who knows why this happens? So so it's really hard, and yeah, it is just a matter of just doing it over and over and over again to try and get the whatever it is to line up. Um, but yeah, I appreciate the practices that they all are ones that I have done before, but I just yeah, I'm a person that needs the structure of doing it with others.
Other people. I know, I
Yeah.
agree. Because it's almost like it helps you discipline. It's really hard. It's like any kind of practice. Like
Yes.
the only thing that I seem to be quite disciplined at doing is swimming laps on my own.
Oh, well,
Well, I do a bit of my practice on my own as well, but
my knees won't take me there. Um,
your
yeah.
knees won't take you there.
No,
Well,
I fell and tore my menisci. Mm,
sorry to
mm.
hear that.
So,
Well,
yeah,
my chiropractor said to kick with your knees straight.
there you go.
Kick with your legs straight. Don't bend your knees. Because I was developing a knee issue.
Mm,
So she
so
said,
sorry.
anyway, it's okay now because I've been kicking with straight legs. So
Well,
yeah,
okay. I'll bear that in mind.
keep that in mind if you feel brave enough to get in the pool. Because
Yes,
the benefit of swimming is it's not weight bearing. So you're just
right,
basically floating around.
right. Well, the pool
And
just opened,
right.
like a week ago. So
Yeah.
my daughter went today and said it was wonderful. So,
Yeah.
I will
So,
follow that sage advice.
and the other thing I've done is a friend gave me some fins. They're just short,
Uh-huh.
but that helps to keep the body upright a little more. So you're not
Oh,
using your knees so much
oh,
because the
interesting.
fins also float.
Yes.
Anyway, so swimming is a good one, but if don't go doing it if you probably know better than anyone what's best for your body. So anyway,
Indeed. So
yeah.
yes, so anyway, I'm very grateful for Zoom
I know, me too, because
and
if
all of you that do these classes
I
over
know, right?
Zoom for us. Yes.
Because I've got COVID. There's no way I'd be teaching this
Oh,
today if we were alive. So anyway, Kimberly, how are you going? Do you want to share anything? Would you like to share
Sure.
anything?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? I really enjoy the body scan because
Yeah,
I'm
me
always
too.
fascinated by
Mhm.
how tense I am.
Ah,
I think I'm all chilled and relaxed. And then,
and then you realize you're
start
not.
mentioning body parts and you're like, why is your shoulder in your earlobe? Like, get it down from there. And I I have this a weird, but I don't get really distracted, but when it's silent during the meditation, I start to worry that the phone hung up, that everyone's gone. I get these weird ideas.
Like, is someone going to interrupt you or?
No, like the phone like if the silence goes for a long time, I
Oh,
think
did the phone hang
did
up?
Zoom
Oh,
hang up
did you lose
because
connection?
is everyone
Oh.
gone? And then I have to peek. So that's my distraction because I worry about like that weird thing.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I give a little peek and I'm like, you don't have to worry, they're there. Like
Yeah, we are there.
but I
It's
worry
isn't
about
it?
strange things.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't it funny the things we worry about? I mean,
Yeah. Because even if
um,
you weren't there, I just log back in.
exactly. Where I was living before with my dear friend Judith, who's 91, she was all worried about not having enough money to live in her house. So then she moved to a retirement village and then retirement home. And then she said to me last weekend, well, do you know what I'm worrying about now? And I'm like, oh no, what? She said, well, I need you and Cindy to help me with my medication because if they find out that I'm not coping with dealing with my medications on my own, they'll put me into assisted living. So this is her latest thing to worry about. So it's probably valid, but it's also like, Judith's so sweet. She'll say, Well, you know how I always have lots of lovely things to worry about. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, what's going on now?
Yeah, I make up all sorts of things to worry about
I
as
think
well.
we do. We do. And then it's really, you know, it's really good to sort of take a step back and go, ahoy, ahoy. Can we just put a break on that one? Okay.
Yes,
Well done, Kimberly. Okay, thank you.
thank you.
And Lou, you missed most of this session, but did you have anything you wanted to share from any previous sessions that you were in?
The only thing that I notice is when I'm really, really trying to meditate, like on calm abiding or something like that, all of a sudden, things that I haven't thought about throughout the day that I should have thought about throughout the day suddenly decide that, okay, he's quiet now. We can talk. We can worry about this.
That's very
There's no
sweet.
distractions anymore.
Yeah. And it all comes bubbling to the surface. Yeah. And so what do you do about it?
I take a couple of deep breaths
Okay, and you just release it.
and I just release it. Yeah.
Okay, well done. Okay. And Robert, how was that for you?
It's excellent. The only thing I found is judgment at the moment of having to return your focus back to the breath. Going, okay, I'm having to do this again. So kind of watching. There's not a lot of harshment quality to it.
I think also too, it's really important when you notice that you need to bring your attention back to the breath is to not judge yourself for wandering off. Because often we'll go, oh, here you go again. And then it's best just to, you know, like an objective observer. It's just like, oh, that's curious. I'm thinking about such and such. Okay, so how does that serve me to think about such and such? And then you kind of look at it a little bit carefully and then just let it go. Just breathe it out. And, you know, like I said at the beginning of is we're not trying to stop our thoughts. We have this continuity of consciousness that's moving a million miles a minute. We're never going to be able to stop our thoughts, but we can control what distracts us and what doesn't, what makes us drowsy and what doesn't. We do have the power to do that. And a lot of our thoughts are influenced by the people we interact with, what we watch, what we ingest, you know, through our ears, our eyes, our nose, our mouth, the food we eat. So it's not just about the mind. It's about, you know, the whole picture. Yeah. Okay, you're giving me a little thumbs up there. That's because you have your thumb up. You're
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
because it's a setting in Zoom.
Oh,
If you
is
go
it?
like this, it comes like a little bubble.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, but I think you've turned off.
haven't
Shayla,
touched it.
did you have anything you wanted to share?
Today's backwards day. Normally everything else, my mind goes all over the place, but today, the first three meditations, I was focused beautifully. And then what normally works for Tashi, what normally works for me is the breath did not work for me. So today's backwards day, but I enjoyed the first three. My head was completely in it, so thank you.
So what was it about the breath that didn't work for you today?
I think I got a little too into my computer today. And because I started worrying, you know, oh, have I taken care of that? Oh, and I need to remember that the computer doesn't exist and that I'm here, you know, just.
Well, the computer does exist, but if you want to be present for yourself, you can sort of say that you'll, hello, I'll come back and talk to you later. This is my boundary. Go away.
Need to get my notebook back so that I can quickly write it down and then go back to my breath.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that is a good idea. And Robert, your thumbs come up again. Mary Jo, you have another thing you want to say?
Yes,
Mary?
and I would like, I have couple of questions. Back to this drowsiness or dullness. It feels like before I know it, I'm overtaken by it and kind of just very passive, just kind of like go with it, you know. And so I would like to be able to work with that in a more assertive way.
Mhm.
And maybe I wasn't paying attention, and you already. Yes, your guidance helps a great deal. I like this class, but when I'm on my own, how can I deal with that in a more constructive way?
Okay. Just practically, what our Geshe in San Francisco would say is get up and go and wash your face and have a drink of water and come back and sit down. And that's what he would
Great.
say. That
I
it's just
like that.
it's very practical. Like someone was doing a nune at Vajrapani. Geshe-la, I'm fainting. We'll go eat something. That was his answer. So, I think it's definitely something to watch out for, habitual drowsiness, because
Yes.
it can really dull the mind. And that's not
Yeah.
a great thing in meditation. If you're doing meditation like sort of once a day, but if you're meditating for 5 hours a day, for example, in retreat, and you're constantly in drowsiness, it's not great for the mind. It's really not great for your practice. But there are things that you can do, like you open your eyes, take nice deep breaths, physical things that you can do.
Yes.
And
Good.
just notice when you're distracted. And sometimes when you're sleepy, like in His Holiness's teachings, it was like torture not being able to. And then also with, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, when I was at his house, Rinpoche would have these late night, what were they, protector puja sessions. And we'd be sitting there, till sometimes like 2 or 3 in the morning. It's be like, and I got really good at sitting up with my eyes closed. So I don't know how good that is, though. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes. Yes.
it was like, when can I go to bed? And then
Yes.
Rinpoche would, yeah, go on. Yes, you, Mary Jo? We lost
Oh,
her.
yes. I feel like it's developed into a very long habit, because I've kind of just allowed myself to go there into that dullness. And these are very helpful ideas. And I understand now why the Zen master has a little stick. And
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely. So
And
anyway, yes.
the other thing that I would suggest is that you meditate in the morning before you eat, or don't meditate after lunch or dinner,
Okay.
or just keep, because I know that food for some people can make you sleepy.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
you don't want to be totally hyped up, but the morning is one of the better times to meditate because your mind is fresh and you
Yes.
haven't had any interaction yet. And do it before you open your computer or check your emails or texts or anything like that.
Yes, yes.
And create some space for yourself, like put your phone on do not disturb, to put it on mute, so that way no one can contact you until you're ready to be contacted. So you take control over what's coming into your environment.
Good. Yes.
Okay.
And
Thank you for
but
sharing that.
do you have time for one more little tiny question or not?
We do.
Okay. So you mentioned watching what comes in through the sensory doors. And so do you yourself have a diet that's, I would just simplify and say that's unexciting, that's, how do you manage this food issue?
I try and eat my food organic, I try and eat organic food. I
Yes.
try not to eat too much foods that create inflammation in the body
Yes.
or overexcite the mind. Like, for example, I wouldn't drink a cup of caffeinated tea at 5 o'clock in the afternoon if I want to
Yes.
get some sleep.
Yes.
Or I wouldn't eat a chocolate cake at 5 or 6 in the afternoon.
Yes.
So I pace myself, my food. So
Yes.
I don't have a particularly exciting diet. I pretty much eat the same thing every day. But
Okay.
I try and stay away from fried foods and fatty foods, foods that create inflammation in the body. So
Yes.
not too much wheat.
Oh, and sugar, obviously.
Yeah, refined sugar is a disaster for the human body.
Yes.
The only people that can take refined sugar are hummingbirds,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and they love their refined sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And how about something like a green chili stew for lunch?
yeah. Why not?
Mm.
If you like green
Yeah,
chili soup, go
because
for it.
but it is also stimulating. I think the hot, that
Hmm.
spiciness to a certain degree, but that you think is okay.
Yeah. I mean, you experiment,
Okay.
you work it out. Like maybe if
Oh
if
yeah.
the green chili is very stimulating, maybe you wouldn't maybe meditate after that, or maybe you would, because if
Yeah.
your issue is drowsiness, you might need some
Yeah.
chili soup.
Yes, I might need some cayenne pepper. Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
Great. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's
Okay, Mary Jo.
helpful.
All
Yes.
right. And Lou, did you have anything? Oh, did I ask you already? No. We've got a few minutes.
I have nothing further.
You have
So
nothing further. Okay. Sound like a lawyer today. I have nothing further, Your Honor. Okay. Robert, do you have anything you want to share? Anything more? Okay. Shayla, anything more? Okay. Given I have COVID, I think I'd like to stop and take a break before our Vajrasattva practice tonight. So let's just dedicate our practice today. Continue. I find this because this is maybe the third or fourth time I've delivered this course, and I just personally find it so educational every time I do it. I'm learning so much from this. It really, these courses actually teach me a lot. So I'm very grateful to you all for being here and giving me an opportunity to share it with you. And Wychok, who actually scripted the course, is delighted that it's being used. So he's in the education department in the FPMT. So anyway, so let's just dedicate all the creative energy, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice. We've heightened our awareness and to all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And then think about His Holiness the Dalai Lama and just make a strong wish for His Holiness to live long, and make a strong wish for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And then if you have your own personal teachers, just make sure they live long, a wish for them to live long. Okay, everybody, lots of love. I will see you in about 40 minutes. Thanks for hosting, Shayla. I appreciate it.